The views expressed in the following podcast were carefully edited to splice in self-destructive subliminal messages when you're not paying attention. They do not represent the views of our employers, spouses, friends, colleagues, or all those parents concerned will splice in scary bird-faced people into the middle of our show. Your mileage may vary. Welcome to Two and Change, the Canadian podcast, The Two Drink Minimum. The people are real, the drinking is real, and the opinions, unfortunately, are also real.
On today's show, we discussed the Momo challenge and how apparently everyone fell for a hoax.
I'm pretty sure it wasn't a hoax. People on my Facebook page said it wasn't anyway. I knew a guy who knew a guy whose sister's friend saw the video.
You know, I'm pretty sure that didn't happen. Oh, and later on the show, we discuss gaming addiction. Now that VR is a thing, is it time to leave the real world and head into the Matrix?
I'm telling you, it's a thing. What happens is you get sent a video and you have to watch it.
I'm pretty certain I read that it was just a hoax on Facebook.
No. They made a documentary about it and everything.
Documentary?
Yeah. Like, apparently after you watch this video, you get a call or a text, and then you die in 7 days. It's super freaky.
Mike, that's the plot to the...
Don't tell him. Let him have this one.
Welcome to And Change. This is Josh, and I am, in the light of one of our guests here, I'm drinking Busch beer, which I haven't drank in a while.
Busch. I like your Busch.
On the mediocre scale,
It's on it.
it's on it.
Is it Busch, like Busch Light, Busch Red?
No,
just
Busch. Okay, that I would not pick up. I've become enough of a beer snob or something that I would not touch Busch Light. That stuff is disgusting.
Hey.
But yeah, I will drink Busch. It's like a 3.
There's no official mediocre for this.
It's glitter bomb and unicorn.
There you go, fair enough. And this is Mike. I have just finished enjoying my second shot of Lafroig. It's an Islay single malt Scotch.
If you say so.
If I do say so. And you know what?
It was a gift.
I always do prefer the Highlands, but you know what? As far as Isleys go, this one was really, really good. Worked well on the rocks.
And of course, this is Tim. I'm drinking my typical rye. So this is a Signal Hill with a splash of club soda. And again, it's on the mediocre scale. It's there. And Mike, you brought a friend.
I did. I brought a friend. Because of the topics that we're discussing tonight, I thought I'd bring someone who had a lot of experience in the tech world. Also, he's someone that I have owned in video games over and over and over again.
You pwned him like a noob.
Yeah, sort of. I mean, to this day, there's still like an ongoing challenge that's been presented from his wife about this old game called Unreal Tournament. But
Unreal Tournament.
yes, the
Unreal
Game of the Year
Tournament's an
edition.
old game?
Well, it was what, 2000? It was the year 2000.
Yeah,
I
I guess.
Game of the Year
It's
edition.
old.
Yeah.
You guys want to play some Quake 3 Arena later?
There you go. That's a Linux
Yes.
game or whatever. Yeah. It is. Yep.
yes.
So this is JJ. This is JJ or John or Doc or whatever you want to call him. He happens to be my brother, and I think that
And the resemblance is striking. I can't tell who is who.
you know what?
Which one do I shoot? I don't know. Which one's the evil one?
Tell you what, the one who has a lot less hair, yeah, that's not me. There you go. That's what I will look
don't
like
know
in
if you
5
look like
years.
without a shirt
He's
on.
making fun of my hair already.
I am.
So what are you drinking?
My name is JJ, and I am drinking Busch because I requested it. Although I'm going to blame my brother. He bought the wrong Busch.
What?
This is Busch in a bottle and not Busch in a can, so this is the wrong way to drink it. But
you know what?
It's
Busch in a
serviceable.
can. I think that's that thing you get for, well, but if you're bald, you get a Busch in a can.
No. It's definitely better in a can rather than the bottle. So
John needs Busch in a can. He needs up top. There's like you spray it on and it turns into. And, yeah. Anyway. Yeah. So this is the Canadian drinking show. Basically, there's 3 buddies and occasionally a guest, or in this case, my brother, who cut together. We talk about stuff with very different
Wiser
political
brother.
opinions. Wiser, yeah, sure.
Bringing a relative on the show, that's kind of pathetic. I'm sorry.
That's a low blow.
Sure, Tim. That's very, very low.
you get the bottom of the barrel or you get nothing.
To be fair, this is the second relative I've brought on the show, so I mean,
That's
I am,
true.
Yeah.
So we're tied.
Yeah. I brought Chris on
No.
once.
Oh, no. I've got 3 people. I've had my
I would
had
like
my
to say
sister.
Yes, that's
I
right.
have brought 0 relatives on
Not
this show.
true.
What?
Heather was on the show.
Yeah, that's right. You lose. You lose,
Heather.
and we win. Yeah. Anyway, the idea is that we all have different political opinions. There's me, the right person. There's these two, the 2 wrong people, and we get together, we discuss, they're wrong, I'm right, and we can still be friends by the end of it. It's fun.
And our first topic tonight, we're actually talking about this Momo challenge thing. So apparently, people thought on Facebook there was this weird bird face lady who was telling kids to go kill themselves.
Sort of. And I guess it was like spliced into children's videos or whatever.
Yeah, I think I'm not even sure if that actually happened like at all?
Well, there was like a year ago, something was going on, and I guess there was a couple of suicides in South America of like 12-year-old kids, and they didn't really connect them to the Momo challenge. So, but
if your kid is, I don't have children, but if your kid is that susceptible that they're going to kill themselves because some bird-faced lady on YouTube told them to, maybe they're not adjusted enough to be watching the internet.
Have you
and supervised.
seen-
Kids are susceptible, but there's no law enforcement agency that says that Momo challenge has resulted in some sort of death.
No.
It's just
Yeah,
a hoax.
yeah.
The only challenge about it is how parents seem to be unable to not talk about it around the kids.
yeah. Yeah, but that's not new. I mean, I don't know if you remember this from when we were kids. There was the choking challenge when you and I were growing up, where you would like choke until you pass out. And it
Yeah,
was
but that was different. That wasn't spread by parents. That was spread by kids on the playground.
well, yeah.
Is this much different? I mean, I don't know if kids.
Yeah,
are
it's
actually
a lot
spreading it, but-
different. So here's the thing. Like the Momo challenge, as far as like whether a challenge to kill itself or not, maybe not. But the actual, I've seen some of those Momo videos because my kids managed to get a hold of it and start getting into
Oh,
it.
God.
And they're very dark.
They are.
And when you have kids who are susceptible to that, it does lead to behaviors that take a lot to turn around.
Yeah.
So, and as soon as they get into something that they see on a screen, that's what they like.
Yeah.
Right. So you're trying to turn it around of like what you're fighting against, what they like, their friends talk about it and everything else. Right. It's such another element, and you can't control every aspect of your kid's life.
You really
can't.
can't.
No.
So maybe you keep them like YouTube is banned other than pure supervision at our house because of some instances.
Well, yeah, 'cause I mean, in YouTube, people look at YouTube like, oh, it's an entertainment thing, I guess. But keep in mind, anyone can load up anything.
Well, hold on. There is actually a kids YouTube thing. Like my smart TV at home has it. There's a thing called Kids YouTube. You can put that on.
Yeah, and there's Momo
and there's
video stuff was
nothing-
showing up in it.
Exactly. And that's
And
where
there's
things get a little
nothing
bit weird.
stopping me from going on YouTube, putting up an episode of Peppa Pig, then splicing in me taking a shit on Peppa Pig.
No, but like the Momo
and then
challenge,
putting it
that's
back
exactly
in.
what they did.
That's exactly what they're doing.
They
right?
spliced in Momo,
So
and
I
it
think-
gave like instructions for how to self-harm or how to kill yourself or something like that. It was
Like,
it
and
was-
here's the thing: on broadcast TV or DVDs you purchase,
Yeah.
this isn't a thing,
Right, it's
well,
not.
except that weird Max Headroom thing that happened back in the '90s,
Wait,
but
yeah.
or '80s or whenever the hell that was.
yeah.
But at
Well,
the same time,
someone
it's like-
hacked into
Yeah, someone hacked into like a broadcast TV thing, and
That was funny.
Some kid like spanked a guy with the fly swatter.
I remember
It was
that.
great.
Or some studio engineer put the wrong tape in for the broadcast.
Could be. Yeah, who knows?
But how you just have that sitting around? No, there had to have been some sort of thought
Yeah,
process.
somebody
in there.
filmed that. Like,
right?
Somebody filmed that.
and
the
not
tape
once, it
existed.
happened twice the same night. So
Yeah.
once was an oops.
So here's the thing, though. Like
Yeah.
it's fun. It's so much harder to manage this than it seems, right? Because let's say you give your kid a tablet or a phone, something for a little bit to watch Netflix.
Yep.
Well, on an Android side, you can switch over. There's a button even within the kids' profiles to switch over to YouTube
Yep.
from Netflix. So they're clicking that, accessing YouTube, even though you blocked YouTube off.
Yep.
It'll circumvent around it because it's accessing it through Netflix. And they figure that out. So you have to. I mean,
Kids are smart.
they'll figure out ways. I'm reblocking and relocking down computers all the time. My son figured out 10-digit random generated password.
Wow.
For his computer that's fully locked down and got around it.
You wrote
Like,
it on the post-it note on your fridge.
no, he's
Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0 doesn't count as
my,
random.
my oldest is autistic, so he literally just watched me and slowly memorized it.
he Rain Man that shit.
He Rain Man that shit through and through.
Oh yeah. Yeah. But I mean, like, I've
9 minutes to Peppa.
I like that you brought up. I like that you brought up parental supervision because a lot of that is going around right now as well. It's just like you got to watch what your kids are doing online. Yes, you do. But I don't know that I have the ability, the manpower, or just to constantly
The
know
sanity.
exactly know
Well-
exactly what my kids are doing. Like, I mean, outside of technology entirely, my kids go to school. Do I know what they're doing there?
Well, no.
No.
But what I'm saying though is when it comes to what's in the house, I mean, I think people, it's sort of like when people freaked out about how Facebook was selling your information, or people freak out about how Google tracks you. It's like, well, fucking duh. What did you think this was?
Yeah.
I mean,
But a 12-year-old doesn't know that. A
12-year-old doesn't know that, but you do.
Yes.
And I think that's where, me, it's very easy sitting here being childless.
Yeah.
Going and, as of a couple of weeks ago, we confirmed on the podcast, permanently childless.
Permanently childless, yeah.
Unless I pull a Jansen's, I guess. But,
Yeah. Don't do that. Yeah.
It comes up every episode. I love it.
It really does.
It really does, yeah.
Yes, I am the double vasectomy guy. Thank you very much. Okay.
Thank
there.
you for reminding me.
It's not-
I
it's
never
not-
forgot.
It's not 2 and change if
You
we
and
don't
your
bring
family
up.
are the single biggest drain on the healthcare system.
Yeah. Yeah, we are.
I like this guy.
Right? Yeah. See, now you know why I told you it would not throw anything off balance to bring him here. It's fine.
No, but being like the childless guy, and I know childish, and
You don't
childless
know.
guy.
You don't know what
Rookie.
your cats are doing on your smart TV when you're not here.
Well, if I have cats that are capable of operating a smart TV,
Talk to your cats about catnip. They know. They're bringing it up on YouTube.
I prefer my cats do catnip at home where I can supervise them, and at least I can explain it rather than going out with their friends, doing catnip on the street, and getting up to God knows what else.
And you enjoy the antics that they get up to when they have it.
Also
Exactly.
that. Yeah. You fed your cats catnip, didn't you?
Oh hell yeah! That's awesome.
Drugs.
But you know, I mean,
Yeah.
but saying it's just easy for me to sit here and criticize these things. But then again, I sometimes wonder. It's like, what do you think YouTube is?
Yeah.
YouTube isn't like this. If you're watching something that anyone can upload,
Yes, but
you're watching something
here's-
anyone can upload.
I get that. There's a reason. I mean, so many parents don't think like that, right?
True.
For our house, I mean, we have the laptops in setup. We brought shelves and stuff, so the computers we can see them at
Yeah.
all times.
Good.
Yep.
Good.
So we take a lot of proactive steps to monitor technology in our house. A lot of parents don't.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily a fault of the parents. It's just an understanding. Like it's not a process that they think about.
Well, there's a generational gap here. Like,
there's-
we grew up in the birth of the internet.
We're generally young parents. Most of these parents who are with young kids now still are in their upper 30s.
Yeah.
they
or lower
they grew
40s,
up
and-
on the internet, and they grew up. They grew up pre-Momo.
Yeah.
in a
Yeah.
way, you know.
Yeah. I mean, most
The
parents today,
next generation might
most
be a
parents
little
today are
smarter,
like
but-
really old.
The
They're
worst,
Tim's
video,
age.
the worst video that was on the internet was salad fingers. Like that was
Hey, salad fingers was messed up. Okay, salad and
Gen
the
Z,
sequel banana fingers was worse.
And I think Gen Z's going to be maybe a little bit smarter about this. than
Sure,
I
fair
think
enough.
than the millennials will be.
But I mean, even if my kids are properly monitored, protected, all that stuff, they go to school with other kids who aren't.
You can't bubble wrap your kids.
I can't, and that's the thing. I'm trying to, like, so my wife and I had this conversation before as well. I don't want to be the helicopter parent. She doesn't want to be the helicopter parent. But at the same time, there's stuff out there that is far more messed up than when we were kids.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, but
okay,
that's
so-
the problem is that content that users can create and upload to YouTube or wherever else is just none of it is curated. It's just there so that anybody can access it. Like that's the big difference between YouTube as a platform versus broadcast systems, which were from the days of old. Broadcast systems like your TV channels and your networks and everything else, that's curated. That's content that they create and it's curated and it's published for mass consumption. YouTube,
And it's regulated differently.
Yeah.
yeah, it's regulated too. But YouTube and the content that goes on there, none of it is regulated. None of it is curated. It's just there. Anybody can make whatever niche content they want and publish it there, and then it's open to all. But I think the trap that parents fall into is that, at least in our house, there was this YouTube Kids app. So you think as a parent that is curated content that is safe and available for your kids and is safe to watch. But
It's not.
specifically to this Momo challenge, somehow users have been able to generate this content and publish it, and it has circumvented whatever curation is on that platform.
Yeah.
And it's not just Momo, it's other stuff out there. Because when we first got the YouTube Kids app, it was kind of like, oh, cool, great. And then after like a week, a couple of times running, we're like, whoa, holy, no, that's going. There's zero, that's just as bad as regular YouTube. So if not worse.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's basically curated bad content designed for kids instead of just like whatever's out there.
I mean, but there's
So-
been weird stuff on the internet since the internet was a thing. I sincerely hope my kids never
Yeah,
discover
but
salad fingers.
Weird stuff versus dangerous stuff. I mean, there is a difference between weird and dangerous.
I don't know that Momo's dangerous.
I don't think
it's,
so either.
It's
I-
poor taste. It's disgusting.
I think it would be.
Keep in mind, it's a hoax,
it would be
though.
dangerous to, I would say, a mind or a personality that is already in trouble.
Sure.
Sure.
That
The one thing I do want to say on the Momo challenge, I do realize it's a hoax. I'm glad people got all paranoid over it.
Yeah.
Good.
Because what happened is there's a lot of parents who were not paying attention to YouTube at all before. And all of a sudden now they're actually somewhat paying attention, and people are starting to maybe realize that there's things that their kids are accessing on YouTube that they shouldn't be on. I see 8, 9, 10-year-olds on hockey teams, 6-year-olds on hockey teams with their parents having no idea what they're watching on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
But this all started with a parent broadcasting that this was a thing.
For sure,
That's
the
the
hoax is a whole nother problem, but I like the fact that the result of that hoax
Is that everybody was reminded to
people
watch with
were
your kids.
reminded that, like, hey, you know what? YouTube does actually have some bad shit. Pay attention to what your kid's looking up on the internet. I like that happened. That was the result.
YouTube is not your child's babysitter.
But YouTube is trying to be, because they keep on talking about, like, every time YouTube gets a complaint about that, they basically talk about, oh, we have community guidelines and you can't upload whatever you want because it'll be flagged by the well, but they're presenting
flagged by somebody who actually had to watch it.
Yeah, but that's just it. Like, when I think about what YouTube is saying to the public about their content, especially on kids' YouTube, they're presenting it as if it is curated.
Okay, so that's the other thing. So we just have a couple minutes left, but what is Google, who owns YouTube, obviously? What
Alphabet.
What is Alphabet, which
you.
all Google?
Which owns
Wait,
YouTube.
Okay, all right. What's their
YouTube-
responsibility is what Tim's
Like,
getting.
like, okay, any platform, really.
Sure.
What is their responsibility, especially when it's supposed to be a community-driven site?
And that's where we get into censorship. Like, does someone have the right to upload any video that they want to anyone? And that's why, I mean,
That's up to the company, really.
It really,
I say yes.
They own the platform. They get to make the rules about whatever content is on there, just like any other platform.
This is
where
why
you
I
might
don't.
see
This is
any
why
kind
I
of
refuse to call it censorship. I mean, censorship is when the government says you can and
Fair
cannot
enough.
do it.
Fair enough.
A private entity can say. There's a great XKCD comic about it saying if you get banned from a site, it's not the government censoring you.
Now-
You're just everyone here's just saying you're an asshole and showing you the door.
that's more or less it. Yeah.
to argue against my statement a little bit is they didn't publish, I mean, other than scrambled porn, they didn't publish porn on ABC at 7 o'clock in the evening.
No.
Right? So they did control content from legislation to companies of what they could and couldn't do.
So speaking of porn, we do have to take a quick break here. When we come back, we'll bring up the weekly WTF and we will talk about gaming addiction, especially in the world of VR.
Oh, yeah.
2 minutes. I'll be fine.
We'll be right back. You're listening to Two and Change, and
Stupid sniper.
And if you're enjoying the show, check us out at
That's horse shit.
2andchange.ca. Hey, can you put that down for a moment so we can tell the fine listeners about the...
How I put you down.
whoa.
Sorry, dude. Sorry. Third day of Battle Royale, and I'm not about to let these little Korean 12-year-old douchebag take my kills.
3 days? You've been playing for 3 days? What about work?
I used vacation. Besides, how else am I supposed to keep at the top of the leaderboard? Got it, yes, hat.
What's that smell? Oh my god, is that you?
It's fine. I used wet wipes during the load screen.
2andchange.ca. Leave a message, check out our blog, call for help, or whatever you can. Thank you. And welcome back from the break. Hey guys, you know what time it is?
It's Weekly WTF.
Weekly what the time? All right, everyone out there, you know how this works. We find the weirdest, wackiest, and wildest news from the internet and compile it right here so you, the listener, don't have to. It's our way of giving back to the community.
Because we know how important this is for you.
Absolutely.
Starting with Paris. Billionaire diamond trade Ehud Ari. Wait, Ehud Ari.
Oh, we don't need to practice.
We don't.
Diamond trade. Hold on. Starting off. Okay, hang on.
Why is it an Arab name in France?
Starting off in Paris, billionaire diamond trade Ehud Ari Lanayed, desire for a larger penis ended in tragedy on the operating table. According to the Toronto Sun, the Israeli-Belgian died of a heart attack when a substance was injected into his junk, triggering a heart attack. Just goes to show you, as the French would say, money can't buy happiness.
See what I did there?
I see what you did there. Money can't buy a penis. A penis. A penis. Or not.
Yeah, okay, anyway.
Yeah.
Anyways, it wouldn't be Weekly What the without a visit from our friend Florida Man. This one is a few weeks old, but we can't let it pass. I'm just going to read the headline from WPLG Local 10 and leave it at that. Florida man arrested after recording himself having sex with his dog. Deputies say videos show dog trying to run away. And yes, they caught the sick puppy.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not sorry.
Bestiality, Tim? Really? That's the one you give me?
Yeah. Zoophilia. That's incredible.
All right.
Wow.
I just-
Well done, Florida man. Well done.
Absolutely. And finally, the latest doping scandal to rock the headlines come to us from Switzerland. The world's #1 player is suspended after failing the drug test at a world champion event in Orlando last September.
What sport? Cycling?
Probably running or like lifting or something.
You guys are close. It's bridge.
Bridge. Like the card game?
That's right. Geir Helgimo, world's #1 bridge player, has been suspended and surrendered all his titles, medals, and points stripped after testing positive for synthetic testosterone and the female fertility drug clomiphene.
Indeed.
Anyway, according to CTV News, and perhaps more surprisingly, the World Bridge Federation is actually recognized by the International Olympic Committee and abides by World Anti-Doping Agency rules.
So like a performance-enhancing drug
Apparently,
for bridge?
female
And testosterone.
female fertility drugs apparently makes you better at bridge.
And testosterone.
Who knew?
Yeah.
Well,
Maybe if you're Donald Trump, I guess. I'm the best bridge player. I have the best bridges, the best ever, maybe in the history of the world.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, if you that's all the time we have for Weekly What the Fuck. Thank God.
No comment from
JJ.
from the guest. I don't know why.
That's okay. Anyway, if you have an article you want to share with us, send it to us at 2andchange.ca. Send us a message or on Facebook or Twitter.
Sounds like fun. Second topic,
I have sent you several.
Does
news
nobody
articles.
read
which
the
we have
script?
featured.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go back and
We
look
did
at it.
Texas Man.
We did the guy spinning the
That
pistol.
was you, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you sent me that story. That was great. Spinning the
Yeah.
pistol.
See, listeners, if you submit, then you get to be on the show.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Yes.
Sometimes.
Subject to conditions.
Yeah, some conditions apply. Yeah. See store for details. You must not be a
The
douche.
2-4 helps.
Yeah, exactly. Also that, yeah. He didn't bring that. All right. We're talking about these.
I would have brought the right one.
What is it? This is. Oh yeah, right. Cans. Yeah. Fine.
Muffin.
I can't believe the hairless wonder just said that. Moving on. Second topic tonight is
I have more hair than you, just maybe not on my head.
All right,
My brother just applied the stop hitting yourself
smelling
technique.
a bonus.
Yeah. I am not taking off my shirt for you, man. It's not happening. Yeah.
Well, you guys
What's
are both
the policy
drinking Busch.
about doing that on Facebook Live? That probably definitely violates some sort of.
What kind of community guideline? They'll put it on Facebook Kids. It's fine. Yeah,
probably.
and splice it into the middle of a Peppa Pig episode. That's good.
Last segment.
Yeah, exactly.
Why are those two men oiling each other up and touching each other?
I am not putting oil on my brother's chest. Not going to happen. I've seen his muffin top just enough. It's fine.
Nothing says. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Moving on. So, second topic, we're talking about VR. This is actually one of the biggest reasons why I brought John here tonight. Also because he brought his VR set. We're going to play Beat Saber later, so that's going to be fun.
He has a PlayStation.
Yeah, he does. He has a PlayStation 4 and a VR set he hooked up to the monitor.
Staring
and
at
it's
it right
amazing.
now.
It's amazing. If you haven't played Beat Saber, this is the 2 and Change endorsement. Go play Beat Saber.
We
amazing.
should emphasize Beat Saber the game, not the
Not the old pastime.
Not the game you find on Pornhub.
No.
Your wife just took a quick trip over to Shoppers Drug Mart, and there's nothing on TV. You know that Beat Saber.
Not that Beat Saber. The Beat Saber that involves like lightsabers and you know what? Shut up. So we're talking about VR specifically. So here's basically what's going on. UK government is talking about regulating VR as an addictive substance, essentially. And
Correction.
It's just a
They
political
are
committee.
creating a committee to investigate the ramifications of VR as a gaming
Which is
medium.
a very different
Hold
situation
up.
than creating a
That's
regulatory
UK
body.
speak for how can we regulate this? Because I mean,
No, it's UK speak for how can we tax it. It is
okay,
UK.
fine, yeah, fair enough. Yeah. They got to pay for
UK
Brexit
speak
somehow.
for how can we spend taxpayer dollars.
Yeah, more or less. Yeah. Now, but that said, I do
wouldn't be
see
England
a
otherwise.
future. I do see a future where the government's going to start getting involved in. And I mean, trying to imagine, like, moving this across the ocean for a second. Can you imagine, like, Congress trying to pass regulation about this? The same Congress who's asking Mark Zuckerberg, "How do you make money on your platform if it's free?" Like that.
Congress was going to pass regulations on it
Yeah.
way back in the 1980s or early 90s.
VR existed then.
And then at
Yeah, it
that
did.
time, the video
It was
game industry
shitty.
got together and they
Remember
created
the
something
Virtual
called
Boy?
the ESRB. The ESRB
They actually
exists
did.
because of Congress threatened to regulate their industry.
Fair enough.
So I think the thing is that Congress is looking at the state of things now, and actually today Elizabeth Warren, for example, came out with the platform talking about splitting up some of the tech companies, especially talking about unfair practices. Say someone like Amazon, for example, you can sell on Amazon's platform, but you're also competing against Amazon, who will, hey, your product's selling well. All right, let's go to China and make our own.
Good
Yeah,
luck.
but-
Honestly, good luck doing anything on the internet that doesn't touch Google or Amazon.
Or Microsoft.
Or Microsoft.
But hold up.
Microsoft's their
But why,
next competitor.
But
why
hold
would
up.
you not to? If you're selling something on the internet, that's exactly where you want to go.
That's-
because
But
they have
they're
the
talking
biggest
about it
audience.
not being
The,
fair.
the point is, it's sort of like a monopoly busting, right? Like how do
But
you...
the
hold
thing
on,
is,
hold on,
I
hold on.
think with VR is that they're trying to say that maybe it's a good idea. Maybe we should get on the ground floor of this before it comes too big, and maybe not repeat the same mistakes we did with social media or e-commerce. You
Well,
know,
hold on.
maybe avoid some of those.
I trust companies like Google and Amazon more than I trust the government, especially the U.S. government.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
I absolutely. Which is why I have Google Home
Clarify,
stuff.
what do you trust them with?
My info. My info. Their ability to deliver a product or service that I find valuable.
I just
Yeah, but that's
love
not
the
what they-
I
but
just
that's
love
not-
the cognitive dissonance of a guy who has Google Home products and yet will not fill out the census.
You know,
It's
To
the
me, that's
government.
You
If the
know,
government's
NSA
demanding info, I tell them to go pound salt. Seriously, I refuse. And not only
Yes,
did
but
I
you-
not fill out the census, I sent
related
it back
to
to them
this guy?
blank
But you
with a
realize-
letter explaining why
no,
I
hold
wasn't.
on. I'm just going to blow his mind for a second. Give me
I'm
one
listening.
second. So any company can sell its data, mass data, that is to whomever it wants.
Right.
They can, and you know who puts out RFPs all the time for mass data on citizens and other information of census data? The government. You know who responds to those RFPs? AWS, Google, Microsoft Azure, all those guys.
Where do you think all those facial recognition
You
camera
can't
technology is coming
You
from?
can't get away from it either way.
Remember
so,
Minority Report, where all the advertising's like, "Hey, Tom Cruise, would you like a Lexus?" That's Microsoft and Google, my friend.
Okay, this is going to be less about VR, but I'm going to ask the question: why is this bad?
Why is what bad?
I didn't
What
say it's bad
is
or
it
good.
that you guys are doing illegal that you don't want the government or these companies
If
to
you
know
have
about?
nothing to fear, if you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to fear.
My
citizen.
Beat Saber time is my Beat Saber time.
Yeah, it's
It's
more
fine.
than well.
Who cares if Google knows or the government knows? Who cares?
I don't care.
Google's watching
I
me,
don't
that should
care
be
for
great.
like. I honestly don't care if Google knows. But if the government decides at some point that I'm some kind of ideological threat to them, we're not that far away from a government having the power to do
about
something
if-
about
are
that.
you that different than
You know,
a million other citizens?
Okay, so look, I mean, to Mike's crazy thoughts aren't necessarily so crazy. How do you think the U.S. got all the Japanese in internment camps so easily in the 40s?
For example.
Or how,
Well, hang on. They looked at their face. You look Japanese, and that was basically it.
No, not necessarily. No, it wasn't just it. Census data.
Yeah.
A lot of it came because they knew where they lived. They knew how do you the Germans got all the registration information from synagogues, but also from census data.
Yep.
So I mean, it's not absolutely batshit crazy to think that government's going to do bad things with your data. But here's the thing. I'm
Right
not
now,
sure.
what the government does with our data is tax the hell out of us and fee the hell out of us and regulate the hell out of us. Like, if you
How
want to
much
talk
taxes do you really pay?
Hold on.
Compared to
Hold on. Let me give you.
you have 6 children.
I can give you one example of something that I do not like about the fact that we are such a documented people. So I'm gonna throw this at you. Vehicles have VINs, right? Vehicle identification numbers. Mm-hmm.
Yes, vehicles have VINs,
Why do they need license plates?
so people can
Actually,
see them.
I might actually. So
Why do they-
so that the
So the police
officers
can-
in their police cars can do their automated camera trick and see if your license plate sticker is
they had it
expired.
before.
okay. I'm good with license plates because it's nice and big and easy. It's easier than a VIN number. VIN numbers are long and have a lot of data in it.
Yeah.
So I'm cool with the license plate thing. What I'm not cool with, why do we
Stickers.
have stickers?
Yeah.
There's
There's
no
a
point for that.
pointless.
That's how they finance repaving the roads.
No,
It's
it's not.
not.
It's not. They do that out of general funds. I mean,
No, he's not wrong. Like, it is a fee that they use to pay for other shit. I mean, that's
Actually,
the whole point of the sticker.
And actually, it's more fair than
almost.
almost any other tax because
Well, no, I'm not
that
saying
is
it necessarily
specific
goes.
to those
It's a-
people
it's a
that are
tax.
using the roads.
It's a tax.
it isn't. But they insist it's not.
Mike, it is a consumption tax. You as a libertarian should freaking have a boner about this.
Well, except it's too high.
versus making okay, so it's too high. See, that's
but
a
that's
different
not
story.
the government's fault. That's the contractor's fault that they hire to repave the roads
The union workers, you mean?
or whatever.
Union busting. Let's do
so
some union
VR.
busting.
Let's not talk about like taxes and
So VR.
Okay,
so
so
VR.
VR.
Government wants to
Oh,
regulate
Jesus.
VR. Also, now, but here's the thing: can we
Government needs to
concede?
That won't
stick
be
their
right.
nose out of the parents' supervision.
That's more or less it. Now, here's the thing:
If my kid wants to watch Momo drink Peppa Pig, that should be my business.
It is.
Well,
It
that-
totally is.
But here's the thing: I concede that parents cannot supervise their kids at all times. I do not concede that where the parent can't, the government can. That's bullshit, because I don't think the government has the capacity to monitor what everyone's kids are doing online. Also,
The government or any government, because look at China. They figured it out.
but here's the social credit score
Yeah, but
for the
not
win.
just for kids, for all of their citizens.
Yep.
Yeah. We think that you spoke something against the communist. We think you thought something against the Communist Party. We're going to put you in jail now.
Like a thought crime.
Exactly.
So don't think those things.
Exactly. Just
Problem
don't.
solved.
If you have nothing to hide. you
Although
have nothing to
social
fear,
activism has
citizen.
worked. So there's, I don't know if you watched Minority
what?
Report with Asimov or...
I don't. No.
You know what?
you check out
You
shit.
live in this country. This country has rules and a culture and everything else about this country. If you want to come to this country, abide by the rules.
One of the coolest things about this country is the fact that I'm allowed to call our rules bullshit, and I'm allowed
Josh, you've
to.
been
I'm
silent.
allowed to publicly go, "This is terrible. We need to change this."
So there's the
For now.
from a philosophical perspective, almost because that's where this all delineates to.
Yeah.
We're nothing if not philosophical.
Yeah,
Sure.
what you're
Josh is,
saying,
I'm not.
what you're saying is that you're not, as long as you're not doing anything wrong. What's the deal, right?
If you have done anything
that's
wrong,
the
what do you have to fear,
But laws
Citizen.
laws are maybe legal, but they're not always necessarily ethical or moral.
Correct.
Laws can be changed to be very, very, very much wrong.
They can.
So
For example-
it doesn't take a lot of time from a nice decent society to pure dystopian hell. It
And
can happen in
usually,
5
So,
years.
video
usually
game
it takes,
addiction.
Usually it takes little steps, like, I don't know, defunding autism, for example.
What's that?
So, getting
follow you on
addicted to
Twitter.
Mike
video
is referring
games.
to our friend Doug Ford.
Yep.
Maple Trump.
Funding for autism.
Maple
Hey.
Trump.
Buck a beer. Not so bad. Turns
It
out.
was not $1 a beer. The no-name stuff, it was like $1.60 a beer.
Well, yeah.
The cans cost money.
Well, the bottles. They were
Well, it
bottles.
cost money.
Yeah.
Well, it was Buck a beer during Family Day.
Right.
It was
I'm
pure
counting it.
advertising for his
Yeah.
buddies.
Promises made, promises kept.
That's Trump.
I know what you're saying, Josh, but I would say the cost of laws convicting people that are not based on a moral ground is a small price to pay, because if it becomes a mass conviction due to these laws, the laws will change.
Not necessarily.
No, the war on drugs for the last 50 years proves otherwise. American jails are full of nonviolent offenders who are guilty of having a half a gram of weed in their back seat.
I know a lot of really good black people down south in the U.S. that
And-
would really strongly disagree with you on that.
And Canada's not
Oh,
the
yeah,
United
that's right.
States.
Because in that place, looking at a white woman funny can get you in jail. in a
Well,
lot of
literally.
But hang on. If
Picking
we're
up
going to
trash
localize...
in your front lawn.
But
Apparently.
hold up. Localize the conversation a little bit. In Canada, as long as you're not an Aboriginal person, that's usually not a problem.
Usually. Depends on where you live.
Yeah, I suppose. But I mean, if you-
We don't, like, I like to use the phrase falling in love with the smell of our own farts. I mean, we can't do that.
well, we don't hate black people. We hate Aboriginal people. It's
Oh,
different.
no, there's plenty of people who hate, people that don't look like them.
Sure, fine. Yeah.
So VR.
Yeah, and video game.
I concede
think we're getting.
it is
I think
glad
we're
I
getting
came here.
okay, so I think
I
we're getting
promise
into
you we
the.
would stay on topic. Yeah.
So I think we're getting into the whole regulatory, aspect
Yes.
of it. Because so if we're going to be regulating VR, but I mean video games in general, I mean,
What does it even
does
look
the-
like?
Are we
So
regulating
here's
the-
my question: like, what if any role does the government have, or should the government have when it comes to regulating these technologies?
Zero. I actually am on
None.
the side of JJ here on this one. That's the parental responsibility. My kids, they have access to video games. They have access to YouTube. Very limited. They have access to Netflix Kids.
What about making sure the goggles are safe?
So
Do you
here's
trust that.
So here's
That's
my
the thing. I say regulate the technologies just to make sure it's safe, just like you would any other technology.
no.
Yeah, consumer protection standards.
No, this is making the same mistakes we've made in the past.
What are you talking about?
So this is with the same arguments that we've had for e-commerce, for social media, for all these other issues that we didn't think of. We didn't get ahead of the game. We didn't think of the possible repercussions of what these industries are doing to our
to be
society.
fair, there was no way to
You
predict
do not
that.
get to regulate content. That's
No.
freedom of speech. And
We regulate content
it's
all the time.
No, but it's
you
also
can't
the
put
moral
hardcore
dilemma
pornography
of-
on CBC. I mean, we already regulated it, man.
There is a standard of ethics. Like actually,
Yeah.
Star Trek Discovery got in trouble for this recently. Jordan posted on his Facebook that
I saw
apparently,
that.
yeah, one of the episodes used the F word in the middle of their episode,
Which
and
I
it
thought was interesting.
and it was air. Well, I mean, to me, I didn't appreciate that they were just like trying to be edgy for the sake of being edgy, but whatever.
But here's the thing: you can.
It was
put-
done before 8 p.m. though. Somebody
Why is
complained.
8 p.m. a magic number?
I don't know. They
It's
had to be
stupid.
set somewhere. The idea is that kids are in bed by 9. I
Do you,
guess.
do you not think
Stupid.
that those particular regulations are going away?
No, I think
Not really. They're being circumvented. Like HBO is not over the airwaves, so it's exempt from them because it's over.
No,
like,
it's
cable.
going away.
Okay, I'm gonna give Josh the final word here because we are wrapping up.
Already? You gotta be kidding me.
So-
there's a bonus here.
so-
You guys took too long to get to
So
the
here's-
actual topic, Mr. Libertarian.
So here's my thought on it. My thought on it is we should look at this in a very mature way on how to prevent negative outcomes before, at least try to circumvent negative outcomes before they happen, because we keep making these mistakes and not looking down the pipeline. I think one of the good examples that we are doing something in the tech world is on the international scale is looking about weapons of war with robotics. We're trying to create limitations on these weapons of wars on where they stop, where this line is drawn. And I think this isn't necessarily the same connection, but VR as a weapon of war, it could be
You
something.
know what? I saw a documentary once with Arnold Schwarzenegger and for robots and war. Anyway, we are out of time for today's episode. So I want to thank our
Get
guest,
down.
JJ.
Get
Thank
down.
you so much.
Thank you.
We'll have to have you on again. You're
sticking around for a
you're
bonus,
delight.
right?
You're sticking around for a bonus. So check out the bonus, which you're going to hear in a few days, or actually see, because we're actually going to put it on video. Hopefully, if this works, we're going to have fun playing some VR games.
Oh, yeah.
Right here in the You Had Me at Beer Studio.
That's right.
Anyway, if you're enjoying the show, make sure you check out our website, trueandchange.ca, where we promise to update our blog. I know we keep saying it. You know, we're like the husband and keep saying we'll clean the house one of these months. It's fine. But we
Hey,
promise
I
we'll
replaced
update
the dishwasher. It took me 2 years. I replaced the dishwasher.
it. Ladies,
We
if
have a
your
massive coffee
husband
table.
says he will do something, you don't need to bug him every 6 months about it. He will do it.
It will get done.
Anyway, continue to watch the show on iTunes, Spotify, Podbean, wherever you get your podcast. For Two and Change, I'm Tim.
I'm Mike.
I'm JJ.
We'll see you next time. I hit a little too close to home there.
Oh, it's just funny.
Josh is face palming. It's amazing.
Funny.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I don't know.
That statement on when we're recording an International Women's Day just
Oh, God, yeah.
We are
that's what got me. I was like,
I posted on Facebook the little bit from Deadpool where where Ryan Reynolds is on all fours and she's leaning in Happy International Day back